Hey guys, Kev here, and I want to do some quick overviews on these two left-handed knives. I'm at AHA here, and I want to do this as quick as I can. I did not really carry these knives much at all, and I didn't use them much at all. Just not, I don't know. They just weren't, this is something I just didn't want to accidentally mess up. These are both loaned in by Tony. Tony is a great dude, and he is one of the admins of the EDC for Lefties group. If you saw my unboxing, you'll know. If you're left-handed, guys, I implore you to go check that group out. It is very cool to be left-handed and have a place, to talk about knives and not have to explain everything. Because when you're left-handed, you always have to explain why this and why that. Like, why we don't like frame locks because you have to put pressure on the lock bar. Why we don't, just certain things with righty knives. And it makes it nice in the lefty group. And you can find lefty knives, which is cool. But this is a very expensive custom. This is the JG Scout, Jason Guthrie Scout. And then this is a production knife from Bestech called the Eskra. It's a kombu design. And they made lefties at one point. They no longer do, but pretty cool that they did at one point. And yeah, so let's get into the overview, so to speak. Let's start with the Guthrie Scout. This is in black micarta and then titanium, of course. It feels so lightweight. And you have this blade here. I don't know what the steel is, honestly. I didn't think I got a COA with it. I can't remember. It's probably a good steel, 20 CV, Nitro V, something like that. It does have a hand satin finish to it, and it has this awesome sheep's poon on it that I'm kind of just calling now because our knife, the Devo Knives Stout, pre-order for this is on April 9th, guys, if you're interested. It also has a sheep's poon. So basically you have a sheep's foot with a harpoon on it, a.k.a. the sheep's poon. So there you go, Jason Guthrie. If you want to use that, go for it. Very comfortable in hand because of that. Fits in your hand just like that. It's on Teflon washers, which is super interesting, right? You just normally don't get this kind of action on Teflon. I honestly just haven't had knives on Teflon. The only other one I've had is the JG Rover, which is the mini version of this, basically, which to me just looked like they took this knife and just chopped it off. So this is really nice to have in hand, but this Teflon is interesting. It's like, it kind of drops like bearings, and then it's just silky freaking smooth to the close. It's not a dropper from there down, but man, is it smooth, guys. It, like, next to the Trevor Berger I had that I just traded, this is probably the smoothest I've felt on a knife. And it makes sense. They're both South African makers. I guess they take pride in that kind of stuff. It's a one-sided stud, which kind of sucks because right-handed, lock bar. Right-handed, you can reverse flick it. Left-handed, you can't. I would much rather have the reverse flick than the thumb, but it does fire out. The detent is absolutely excellent. And it's just dialed. It really is. This micarta is pretty nice. It's not my favorite. It's kind of hard, but it's kind of like the stuff Riot uses, which a lot of people like. Like here I have the F5.5. It kind of reminds me of that stuff. This is sort of a denim style, but it's like really hard. And then you have like the American style micarta like this that Bestech uses on these Veros, which I got to put some oil in these. They look kind of like dirty, don't they? It's just from hand oils, and it absorbs it, but then it like dries out. It's weird. But I prefer this type of stuff, I guess. But this is fine. I'm just, nitpicking, I guess. Nitpicking, I guess. Jesus, God. Ooh, okay. I'd say, would you have too many beers? But I don't drink anymore, so. Cool pivot. You got a little bit of a 6-gun thing going on, and you got your screw over here with a little bit of a collar. Cool clip. Very, what do you call it? Minimal sort of clip. Function first sort of clip. Very thin, yet it has pressure, so it's not like some, I just cut myself. Some of these clips like this, for example, on the Kunwu Tao, it sucks. It's like super thin, so it feels really stretchy, and you can bend it real easy. Another example is the Axial Gear NZ here. It just feels really spongy like that and stretchy. This has it's like thicker, I guess, but it has that. It just has a strength to it. Maybe because of how he does it on the standoffs. But you can't just like rip this off. Like, and then it has this ramp here. So just, I don't know. To me, it's a very, very well thought out clip. I like that a lot. Ergonomics, a lot of people say this is one of the most comfortable knives ever, and it is super comfortable. For me personally, I kind of get hit by this hump. So where some people maybe miss that, my middle finger sort of rests on it or wants to, and it just doesn't feel right to me. It's not bad or anything. It's just not like melt in your hand perfect. And then you have this, which is absolutely perfect. I love it. The lock bar tension is absolute money. There is no steel insert. Let's take a look. Nope, it's titanium, which must be carbonized, which is fine as long as it doesn't stick. And man, does it not stick. Or is there an insert in there? Kind of looks like, oh, there is. Looks like there's a little piece of metal at the top of the frame. Can you see that? Hold on, let me zoom in. See if you can catch it. Oh, God, I hit something. See if you can catch that piece of steel. You see that? Right there? Something contacting the blade, right? So I think it's actually an insert of some sort, which is cool. Is there an over travel? I'm not sure, but I'm not going to try to push it out. So anyway, there's no stick. It locks up great. There's no rock. There's no play. I mean, you're not going to... It was a very light spine whack. Maybe it sounded worse, but I swear it was really light. There's no play or anything. Yeah, it's just awesome. Centering-wise, I think we're a little bit off to the clip side. You can kind of see here the gap is a little wider on this side. But, you know, on a sheep's foot kind of knife like this, it's hard to tell a lot. So it wouldn't really bother me. I mean, if I owned it, it might. But I don't know. It has a very just like distinct sound when it locks up. I don't know how to explain it. The Rover was the same way. So he does something detent-wise or bearing-wise or whatever. I guess it's not bearing, just Teflon. Maybe that's why. Something that just is unique. And his knives just feel light as get out. All get out. And they're not like super milled out or anything. But I guess it's because this is all just one slab of micarta maybe. And the titanium, it just feels super light for its size. It's impressive. Size-wise, I think it's about a 3 1/4 inch blade. Let me get the stout out again. This is 3.3. So they're almost identical. So yeah, 3.3 inch blade, 7.65 overall, basically on this guy. So just excellent specs, excellent knife. If I could find one that's all titanium or something cool, carbon fiber, maybe he does some fat carbon stuff. If I could find something like that in a Lefty for a relatively decent price, I think I would pull the trigger. I'd like to see one with double studs. I think Tony said he tried to put a stud over here, but you can see it doesn't quite cut out enough, so it doesn't work. You can't put another stud on, so maybe you can't get a double stud. But honestly, I would totally be happy with a thumb stud one if I got a cool carbon fiber one for a good price. So I'll keep an eye out. Go check out the Lefty group. So that is the JG Scout, which is really cool in Lefty. And then I have this production Bestech Eskra here. And I'm impressed, guys. The D10 on this. Jesus. Man, I am an absolute maniac. Hold on a second. Let me just check. Tip, good. Edge, good. I kind of like closed it and just hit the table. I don't know what the hell I was doing. But luckily, I didn't mess his knife up because I couldn't replace it probably if I tried. Anyway, this is the Bestech Eskra designed by Kombu. M390 steel, titanium frame lock. Not my favorite clip in the world. And just not my favorite design. I do like the design overall in terms of how it looks. Just for me personally, it's not something I want to carry. I don't like how thin the handle is and everything. It's just a little bit weird. But it's super comfortable in hand when you choke up like this. Back here, not so much, kind of slick. And I don't know, it just has a lot of like things going on. It's too much going on for me, I guess. I do like the black wash. I love the action. The D10 is perfect. So I got to take back, I always bashed Bestech for light D10s, and it did seem like a lot of them were light, but I think it's more about what the designer is asking for. Like Vero, it's just, I guess, asking for super light D10s, because Bestech can nail a D10, clearly. Reverse flick works great. It's not the best. You can thumb flick it if you're off the lock bar. It's so hard. I'm just not used to lefty frame lock. But the reverse flick works well. You know, it's a good knife. It's just not for me. I just, you know, it's a little heavy. It's a little out there. But it's a quality built knife. It's a good blade. It's got a nice thin grind. It comes down to a good edge. Got a good tip that kind of swoops down. It's got sort of a machete thing going on. And it's just cool, right? It's just ultimately not for me, so I didn't really mess with it much, so I don't have much to say about it. So that's the Kombu Eskra Lefty from Bestech and the JG Scout Lefty as well. I want to get these back to Tony. He's got to be missing this guy, and he actually wants to send me some more lefty knives. He has a whole collection of customs and production lefties, and I welcome that because I am left-handed. So most and all of the knives you're going to see that come from him or whatever that are left-handed, they also come in right-handed. So don't worry, you know. It's more likely that a righty knife won't be lefty, you know. So if you're right-handed and you watch my channel, you can still find these knives in your orientation. It's just that I have these versions. And it actually, to me, makes it a more legit review for somebody who's right-handed watching me to watch me review a lefty version of their knife, because I'm getting the same experience you are. When I have a right-handed knife, I get a different experience. This is not how I function the knife. I function it like this. So maybe my take on it is going to be different, right? So I don't know. Anyway, just some thoughts there. And let me know what you guys think in the comments of these knives. Would you pick one of these up if you could? And I know it's Stas's like favorite, or one of his favorite knives, I think. I know he loves the Rosie though, but a lot of people love this knife. So I love you guys. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day, and I will catch you later.